I stood in the hospital room, holding her favorite strawberry shortcake in my hand, watching her lie on the bed. Her face was pale, but her eyes were startlingly bright. "Hello." She nodded at me politely, her voice courteous. "Who might you be?" My heart dropped. The doctor had made it perfectly clear. Scarlett May had survived the car crash with all her memories intact except for me. Every last trace of me and everything related to me had been completely wiped from her mind. 3 years of dating. 1 year of marriage. Over 700 days and nights, all of it had evaporated from her head. "I'm Ethan Carter." I set the cake down on the nightstand, forcing my voice to sound steady. "I'm your what?" She tilted her head, looking at me. The word husband got stuck in my throat. The doctor had warned me not to shock her, to let her recover at her own pace. "Your friend," I finally said. "Oh." In 28 years of living. This was the first time I'd ever felt a chill go straight through to my bones. My wife, who used to cling to me like a koala every time she saw me, was looking at me now like I was nothing more than a fly that had wandered into her hospital room. You can have the cake. It's strawberry." "You." I paused. "You used to really like it." "Thanks." She said it politely again, then turned her head to look out the window, clearly done talking to me. Great. She'd just shown me the door without saying a word. I stood there frozen for 3 seconds, feeling like a total idiot. "Fine." I turned to leave. As I passed the chair beside the bed, her bestie Zoe was sitting there, watching me with an amused, knowing look on her face. "Zoe." I kept my voice low. "Take good care of her. Okay. I've already arranged her medication and her meals. Call me anytime if you need anything. Relax. Ethan." Zoe patted her chest. "I've got this." I hummed in acknowledgement. And that bitter, aching feeling swelled up in my chest again. When I stepped out of the room, I glanced back over my shoulder. Scarlett was still staring out the window. The curve of her profile was exactly as I remembered it, but there was no trace of me in those eyes anymore. I closed the door slowly behind me. Just as the door clicked shut, a giddy, barely contained scream burst from inside the room. "Zoe." "Oh my God. Oh my God." I froze mid-step. I think I just fell in love. My whole body went rigid. I fell for that guy at first sight. Huh. Oh my God. He's so hot. Did you see his face? That body. He definitely has an 8-pack under that shirt. I glanced down at myself. Fair enough, but didn't she have amnesia? I can't handle this. I like him so much. Scarlett's voice was trembling with excitement. "Zoe. Imagine how happy I'd be if I could be his wife." "Zoe." Me. Standing outside the door. My mind went completely blank for a second. She forgot we were married. She forgot I was her husband. And now she's fallen for me at first sight and wants to be my wife. What kind of ridiculous, perfect plot twist was this? My wife had a crush on her own husband. I'd basically cuckolded myself with my own self. I stood there in the hallway, fighting back both laughter and tears. My face was a total mess of conflicting emotions. And in that moment, a brilliant idea hit me. I was always the one chasing you. Back then. 3 years ago. I'd camped out below your office building for 2 weeks just to ask you out. I faked 8 random run-ins. And you saw through every single one. In the end, I only got the date because you thought I was cute. Now you have amnesia. You've forgotten all about me. And you've fallen for me all over again at first sight. So this time, how about you chase me for a change? I pulled out my phone and texted Zoe. "Come out for a second. Need to talk." A minute later, the door creaked open. Zoe poked her head out, glanced left and right, then slipped out quietly and pulled the door shut behind her. "What's up, Ethan?" I pulled her around the corner of the hallway. "Since Scarlett has amnesia," I said, keeping my voice as calm as possible. "Don't tell her I'm her husband." I accidentally heard everything she just said. Zoe's face went red instantly. "Ethan, don't take it the wrong way. Scarlett she has no filter. You know. She hit her head pretty bad. She's just talking nonsense. Her memory'll come back eventually. Right. It's fine." I waved it off. Zoe blinked in surprise. I smiled. "She said she likes me. Right. Said she fell in love and wants to be my wife." I paused. "So I'm gonna let her chase me." Zoe blinked. 3 seconds later, it clicked. Her face shifted from worried best friend to grinning mischief maker in an instant. Ethan. She drawled. Eyes sparkling with amusement. You are so evil. Two can play at this game. I said. She's the one who forgot me. All right. Zoe rubbed her hands together. Looking like a director about to start filming. I'll help you. But I'm warning you. She wagged a finger at me. When Scarlett gets her memory back and finds out you two were already married and you pulled this whole stunt on her, she's gonna lose her mind. Don't blame me when you end up sleeping on the couch. Let her. I said casually. She's the one who forgot. For the time being. I went on. I need you to take care of her. I'll pack up some of her clothes and toiletries and bring them over to your place so she can stay with you. I'll cover all the expenses. You just have to play along with the act. Zoe tilted her head. Thinking it over. Stay at my place. She muttered. Yeah. Okay. I've got a spare bedroom. But Ethan. Why go through all this trouble? Her memory's gonna come back sooner or later. And she'll just move back home with you anyway. Just for fun. I said. Zoe clearly didn't buy it. But after thinking about how entertaining the whole thing would be, she happily agreed. Deal. She held out her hand. We're in this together. Ethan. I high-fived her. On the drive home. I sat alone behind the wheel. And the more I thought about it, the more absurd it all seemed. My wife has amnesia. Forgot who I am. Fell for me at first sight? And now I'm tricking her into chasing me with her best friend as my accomplice. If someone had told me 3 years ago this would happen, I'd have told them to get their head checked. But now, I was actually kind of excited. Excited to have her chase me for once. I smiled, shook my head, and started the car. Your turn. Scarlett. Scarlett stayed in the hospital for a week. I didn't go see her once that whole week. Zoe texted me updates all day long, giving me blow-by-blow reports like I was binging a drama I couldn't put down. Ethan. Scarlett asked me what the cake guy's name was today. Ethan. She ate the whole cake. Said whoever bought it really knows what she likes strawberry. Duh. I stared at that text, gripping my phone so tight I almost crushed it. Of course I know you love strawberries. You ate 3 slices of strawberry shortcake on our first date and said you felt sick afterward. Ethan. She asked about you again. Wanted to know what you do. How old you are. If you're single. I stared at those last 2 words for a long time. If you're single. I am taken. Taken by you. You little troublemaker. I took a deep breath and texted Zoe back. Tell her I'm single. Zoe replied instantly with a grinning emoji. Got it. Done. Her eyes lit up so bad when I told her. She looks like she's about to bolt out of the hospital right now to find you. I tossed my phone onto the passenger seat, leaned back, and stared up at the ceiling of the car. Lying to my own wife about being single. What the hell am I doing? Ethan Carter. On the day she was discharged, Zoe brought Scarlett back to her apartment. Just like we'd planned. I'd packed up her things the day before, sorting through everything. I grabbed her everyday clothes, skincare products, and her mountain of stuffed animals, and dropped them all off at Zoe's while Scarlett was still in the hospital. As for our photos, our marriage license, and anything that screamed couple, I hid all of it in the very back of the storage closet. I scrubbed every trace of us from the apartment. When I was done, I stood in the empty apartment and looked around. Without her here, the place was so quiet it made my chest hurt. We'd only been married a year, but every corner of this place had her mark on it. The dent in the couch where she curled up to watch shows. The grocery list she'd stuck to the fridge. The 2 toothbrushes sitting side by side in the bathroom. Now hers was packed away in her suitcase. Only mine was left, standing alone in the cup. I stared at that toothbrush for a long time. And suddenly I wondered if this whole plan was just stupid. I could just tell her the truth. I could bring her home right now. But then I remembered that giddy scream from the hospital room. I think I just fell in love. Imagine how happy I'd be if I could be his wife. I smiled. Screw it. Stupid or not. At least this time, I get to watch her fall for me. Fair and square. What came next was a series of carefully staged random run-ins, planned by Zoe and me. The first one was set up at the convenience store below Zoe's apartment building. Zoe's script went like this. She'd pretend they were out of oat milk and send Scarlett downstairs to get some. Meanwhile, I'd hang out in the store ahead of time, playing the part of a guy just stopping by for cigarettes. I don't smoke. But for the bit, I bought a pack. I stood in front of the snack aisle, pretending to read the ingredients on a bag of chips, while my peripheral vision was glued to the door. Ding! The door opened. Scarlett walked in. I hadn't seen her in a week. She looked a little thinner, but her color was better. She was wearing an oversized cream hoodie, her hair pulled back loosely. And she looked so soft. She spotted me immediately. Then she froze. I saw the tips of her ears turn bright red. She pretended to be casual as she walked over to the shelf, picking up one carton of oat milk, putting it down, then picking up another, all while glancing over at me every 2 seconds. I bit back a smile and kept staring at my chips. She spoke up suddenly, her voice a little shaky. Excuse me, which chip flavor is good? I looked up. Our eyes met. Her whole face flushed bright red. I kept my tone calm. Pickles pretty good. My wife hates pickle chips. Last time I bought a bag, she roasted me the whole walk home. Said I had terrible taste. Pickle. Her eyes lit up. I think pickle's the best too. I love pickle chips. Me. Fine. You eat M. I'll ask Zoe later if you actually do. Lying about liking pickle chips just to impress me. That's the power of love. Baby. Do you live around here too? She held the oat milk carton, fumbling for conversation. Nah. I nodded. I'm just in the area sometimes. No way. Her voice went up an octave. I live around here too. That building right there. She pointed at her building through the window. Then immediately backtracked. I mean, I come to this store all the time. So maybe we'll run into each other again. Her voice got quieter and quieter as she spoke, her head dipping lower and lower until her face was practically buried in the oat milk carton. Watching her like this made my chest feel so warm and soft. Maybe. I smiled. I'm Ethan. We met at the hospital. Last time. I remember. She lifted her head sharply. Of course I remember. The strawberry cake. You liked it. Loved it. So much. Then I'll buy you another one sometime. I regretted it the second the words left my mouth. Too eager. According to the Let Her Chase Me script, I was supposed to play it cool. Sure enough. She blinked in surprise. Then her eyes crinkled into little crescents, practically glowing with happiness. Really? Then can we add each other on Instagram? So you can message me about the cake. I thought to myself, we've been friends on there for 3 years. I even had Zoe unfriend me from your account just for this little stunt. Sure. I pulled out my phone. She fumbled to pull up her profile, her hands shaking so bad she almost dropped her phone. The second we added each other, I caught a glimpse of the name she'd saved me as. Pickle chip guy from convenience store. Me. I stared at that contact name, holding in laughter so hard my stomach hurt. She paid for the oat milk in a hurry, clutching it to her chest. Before she left, she glanced back at me one more time, looking like she never wanted to go. Well, I'll head back first. All right. Get home safe. The door dinged shut behind her. I stood there in the store, watching her jog back to her building, her steps light and bouncy. I looked down at my phone. Scarlett had already sent the first message. Hey. It's the girl from the convenience store. Then a second one right after. I'm Scarlett May. Scarlett like the color. May like well. May. I stared at that message for a long time. That's exactly how you introduced yourself to me 3 years ago. I typed back, hey. Scarlett. She went quiet for about 10 seconds. Then a flood of messages came through. You called me by my first name. That feels so nice. Hee hee. I stuffed my phone in my pocket, paid for the pack of cigarettes I'd never smoke, and walked out of the store. The night wind hit me, and I felt like I was floating. Zoe called right after. Ethan. She whispered into the phone like we were on a secret mission. Did it work? Did it work? She just got back. She's walking around the apartment holding that oat milk carton, muttering pickle chip guy over and over. Oh my God. She's obsessed. It worked. I said. We exchanged info. Huh. Zoe was cackling so hard she could barely breathe. You have no idea. She's staring at your profile picture and grinning like an idiot. I just peeked, zooming in and out. Zooming in and out. Been at it for half an hour. I couldn't stop the smile from spreading across my face. All right. I said. Keep an eye on her. Don't let her wear herself out. She just got out of the hospital. She needs rest. Got it. Zoe drawled. You say you want her to chase you. But you're already wrapped around her finger. Shut up. I hung up. That night, Scarlett sent me over 30 messages. Everything from what she ate for dinner, to what she was doing tomorrow, to a random photo of the moon outside her window. I replied to every single one. Until 1 in the morning. Finally she sent, "You're still up," I said, "waiting for you to say goodnight." She went quiet again. A long minute later, she sent a facepalm emoji and 4 little words. "Good night, Ethan." I stared at those words. Zoe definitely put her up to that. I smiled, said goodnight back, and turned off the lights. In the dark, I pulled out my phone and glanced at the conversation one more time. Welcome to the chase, Scarlett. If the convenience store was the appetizer, the next month was a foolin' barrage of coincidences. With Zoe as her star wingwoman, Scarlett's quest to win me over was in full swing. Her approach was clumsy, but sincere. Move 1. Food bribes. Ever since she found out I loved pickled chips, she started showering me with snacks. Once she showed up below my office building carrying an entire case of chips. She'd somehow found out where I worked. Zoe had definitely spilled the beans. When I walked out after work, she was standing by the front door holding that case, shivering in the evening wind, the tip of her nose bright red from the cold. "What are you doing here?" I hurried over to her. I was passing by. She held her chin up defiantly. "Just passing through." My office was on the east side of the city. She lived on the west. That's half the city apart. If that's passing through, then the earth is flat. Passing through with a whole case of chips. Yep. She shoved the case into my arms. "For you. All pickle flavor. Enough to last you 6 months." I held the case. Heavy in my arms but heavier still was the warm weight in my chest. "Have you eaten yet?" I asked. "Not yet." She shook her head. "Come on. My treat." Her eyes lit up instantly. But she quickly composed herself. Playing it cool. "Oh, you don't have to do that." "Nonsense." I picked up the case. "Let's go. For dinner." I took her to that Mexican restaurant we used to go to all the time. She sat down, glanced at the menu, and frowned slightly. "What's wrong?" My stomach dropped. "Nothing." She shook her head. "It just feels like I've been here before." My heart skipped a beat. "Shit. Did she figure it out?" "Maybe you have," I said casually. "Probably." She didn't think much of it. And ordered a whole table of food. And every single thing was something I loved. Pan-seared salmon. No spice because I can't handle spicy food. A spicy beef burrito bowl just for her absolute favorite. And a vanilla panna cotta for dessert. Said she'd heard this place made it really well. I watched her order like it was second nature. And my chest felt tight with a dozen different emotions. Those habits were etched into her bones. You can erase memories, but your body doesn't forget. "How'd you know I don't like spicy food?" I asked, testing her. She blinked. I didn't know that." She scratched her head. "I just ordered randomly." "Why? You don't like spicy?" "Yeah. Gives me stomach issues." "Whoa." Her eyes went wide. "That's such a coincidence. I just happened to order the non-spicy salmon." "We're so in sync." "In sync. Fine. Let's call it that." That dinner was equal parts nerve-wracking and sickeningly sweet. She stared at me the whole time, watched me eat, watched me drink, watched me talk, like I was some rare, precious treasure. "Stop staring at me," I said, feeling a little flustered. "Why can't I?" She said it like it was the most obvious thing in the world. "You're good looking. Staring's not a crime." "Me? When did my wife get so smooth?" "Oh right. She's not my wife right now. She's the one chasing me." Move 2. Manufactured run-ins. After that dinner at the Mexican place, I started running into Scarlett everywhere I went. I'd go to the gym, and she'd be on the treadmill next to me. I'd go to the grocery store, and she'd be picking out fruit in the produce section. I'd go to the bookstore, and she'd be coincidentally browsing my favorite shelf. Every time she saw me, she couldn't hide how happy she was. Of course I knew Zoe was feeding her my schedule behind the scenes. Zoe texted me my own itinerary every day, telling me where to be and when. Once I deliberately didn't tell Zoe my plans. And detoured to a new coffee shop last minute. I'd barely sat down when Scarlett burst in. Breathless. Her hair all messy from running. She saw me. Blinked. Then got this "I knew you'd be here" look before quickly switching to a surprised face. "Fancy seeing you here, Ethan." I bit back a smile at how flustered she looked. "How'd you find this place?" She darted her eyes around. I followed my gut. Her gut. More like she tracked my phone location. But let's be real, having this sweet girl running all over the city chasing after me. It was impossible not to feel something. Every time I saw her. All sweaty from running to run into me but trying to play it cool. I thought, this stupid plan was worth it. A month flew by. Scarlett's advances got bolder and bolder. From snacks and run-ins. She'd moved up to prepping for a straight-up confession. That night, she asked me out to a movie. The theater. She'd specifically picked a horror movie. I knew exactly what she was up to. Horror movie. Dark theater, perfect excuse to snuggle up to me. 10 minutes into the movie, I felt her head inching closer and closer to my shoulder. A ghost flashed on screen. Scarlett launched herself into my arms. Gripping my arm tight. Her face buried in my shoulder. Trembling. I looked down at her. She peeked one eye open. Watching the screen through her fingers. Then yelped and squeezed her eyes shut again. Pressing deeper into my chest. She was soft. And she smelled like home. I recognized the scent of her hair shampoo I'd bought her. My heart started racing. Completely out of my control. "If you're scared, we can leave," I said. My voice a little rough. "No." She mumbled into my chest. "I gotta face my fears." "Why bother?" "Because." She lifted her head. Her face so close to mine. Her eyes shining in the dark. "Then I get to stay in your arms the whole time." Me. Shit. My heart couldn't take this. I stared down at her. She stared right back up at me. The theater was dark. The flickering light from the screen danced across her face. Her lashes were fluttering. Her breath unsteady. And I could see my own reflection in her eyes. We were getting closer and closer. Close enough that I could feel her warm breath on my jaw. Close enough that I could almost count every single one of her eyelashes. We were so close. The last thread of my sanity was pulling tight. No. According to the plan, she had to be the one to confess. The one to kiss first. I had to play hard to get. At the very last second. I turned my head and reached for the popcorn bucket beside me. "Want some popcorn?" I held the bucket out. My voice perfectly steady like nothing had happened. "Scarlett." She froze. Her face going from shy and hopeful to totally bewildered in a split second. She looked so disappointed. Her lips pushed out into a little pout. I was holding in laughter so hard my abs hurt. Frustrated. "Huh? Scarlett." "No." She sat up straight. Huffing. Crossing her arms and turning back to the screen. She didn't lean into me again. She was mad. But 5 seconds later. Another jump scare hit. She jumped right back into my arms. Her body had other ideas. I held her and smiled to myself in the dark. Trying not to laugh out loud. After the movie. I walked her home. It was late. The streets were almost empty. And the streetlights stretched our shadows long across the sidewalk. She walked beside me. Opening her mouth like she wanted to say something, then closing it again. Her face all twisted up with nerves. When we got to her building. She stopped. "Ethan." She said my name suddenly. "Yeah. There's something I want to tell you." My heart skipped a beat. "Here it comes." "Go on." She took a deep breath. Clenching her fists like she was about to do something huge. "I like you." 4 simple words. Heavy and sure. Even the night wind seemed to go quiet. She looked up at me. Her face bright red. But her eyes were blazing reckless. Brave. All in. "I liked you from the first time I saw you at the hospital." She talked faster and faster. Like she was scared she'd chicken out. "And this past month at the convenience store. The Mexican place. The movies, none of it was a coincidence. I planned it all. I had Zoe tell me where you'd be. And I chased you all over the city." Warmth flooded my chest. "You little dummy. You just confessed everything. I know this is weird. We've only known each other a month." Her voice trembled. "But I can't help it. I really like you. Ethan. Will you be my boyfriend?" When she finished. She squeezed her eyes shut tight. like she was waiting for a verdict. I looked at her. This person who'd forgotten me completely, but had fallen in love with me all over again clumsily. Bravely. For the second time. My chest felt so full. I could barely name the feeling. I opened my mouth. According to the script, I should have played it cooler. Made her wait a little longer. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't make her wait even one more second. Yes. I said. Her eyes flew open. What? I said yes. I smiled and ruffled her hair. I'll be your boyfriend. Really? She jumped up and down. You're not messing with me. Really? Ah. She bounced 3 times. Then threw her arms around my neck and hugged me tight. I like you so much. Ethan. I'm so happy. I'm never gonna sleep tonight. I held her. My chin resting on the top of her head. You dork. I whispered. In that moment, everything felt a little surreal. We'd gone in a huge circle from husband and wife to strangers to boyfriend and girlfriend. But no matter how much amnesia and how many lies stood between us, it was still her standing in front of me. Still the Scarlet who would fall in love with me all over again. We were official. In the most ridiculous way possible. My wife was now my girlfriend. If my friends found out about this, I'd never live it down. But I didn't care anymore. Every relationship has its little secrets. Right. Mine just happened to be a really big one. Once we made it official, we slipped right into that giddy honeymoon phase. She texted me good morning and good night every day. Sent me selfies. Pictures of her food. She was so clingy. And I loved every second of it. I ate it up. Playing along with this little act where I was the only one who knew the full story. But there were moments that made my heart skip a beat. Like once. We were walking through the park and past a candied fruit skewer stand. She stared at the skewers for a minute. Then said, Ethan. I want the green grape one. Not strawberry. Strawberry's too sour. I stopped walking. She loved strawberry shortcake. But thought strawberry candied skewers were too sour. That tiny detail was exactly the Scarlet I remembered. All right. Green grape it is. I said. After I bought it. She held it up. Took a bite. And smiled. Her eyes crinkling shut. So good. She mumbled around the fruit. Try it. Ethan. She held the skewer up to my mouth. I took a bite. Sweet? She asked. Sweet. I said. Looking right at her. Heh. She took another bite right where I'd bitten. Totally oblivious. My heart turned to mush. Another time was even closer to blowing the whole thing. We were at my place watching TV. She was heading to the bathroom. But stopped when she passed the storage closet. What's in there? She asked. Every alarm in my head went off. That closet was full of all our photos. Our marriage license, everything I'd hidden. Just junk. I pulled her away quickly. Old stuff. Nothing interesting. Oh. She didn't question it. And let me lead her away. My back was drenched in cold sweat. After she left that night, I put an extra lock on the storage closet door. The longer this act went on, the more nervous I got. But I couldn't bring myself to end it. Because watching her love me so happily, so wholeheartedly, I couldn't bear to tell her the truth and turn that pure, fresh crush into the awkward reality that we were already married. Just a little longer. I thought. When her memory comes back, she'll figure it all out on her own. And then we'll have 2 whole love stories to look back on. How perfect would that be? Our third date. We went to an amusement park. She insisted on riding the roller coaster. Talked a big game before we got on. But once it started, she was scared out of her wits. When we got off, her legs were like jelly. And she clung to me, shaking. Never again. She collapsed onto a bench. That was terrifying. Told you not to show off, I said, handing her a bottle of water. She took it and chugged half the bottle. Then leaned her head on my shoulder and sat there for a long time, catching her breath. Ethan. She spoke up suddenly. Yeah. Do you think someone can forget something really important, but their body still remembers? My whole body went rigid. Why'd you ask that all of a sudden? I kept my voice as steady as I could. Nothing. She swung her legs back and forth. It's just sometimes I do things that even I think are weird. Like I don't remember going to that Mexican restaurant. But I just knew their panna cotta was good. And when I'm with you, it feels like I've known you forever. Not just a month. My heart was in my throat. Maybe it's fate, I said, brushing it off. Fate. She repeated the word. A small smile tugging at her lips. Yeah. Maybe it is. She didn't ask any more questions. I let out a breath of relief. The days went on. And we kept on with our sweet, secret little relationship. She got better and better at taking care of me. Remembering every little thing I liked and disliked so well that I almost asked her if her memory was back. More than once. Then, our 3-month anniversary. I cooked a fancy candlelit dinner. Right at my apartment. I was in the kitchen in an apron. Bustling around. While Scarlett waited in the living room. When all the food was on the table. The candles flickered. And the mood was perfect. I poured her a glass of red wine. To 3 months. I said. Raising my glass. Cheers. She clinked her glass against mine. Smiling. After a few glasses. The air felt warm and hazy. Her cheeks were flushed. Her eyes soft and dreamy. She curled up on the couch. Looking at me with this knowing little smile. Ethan. She set her glass down suddenly. Yeah. Was it fun? I froze. Was what fun? She rested her chin on her hand. Tilting her head and smiling at me with that look I couldn't quite place. Playing this little cat-and-mouse game with me for so long. She said. Slow and deliberate. Was it fun? My mind went completely blank. A cold chill ran down my spine. What are you talking about? My voice came out all wrong. She leaned forward. Right up to my face. Her eyes bright and sparkling with mischief. Ethan Carter. She said my full name. My husband. She drawled it out. Grinning like the cat that ate the canary. You really sold that whole act. Didn't you? I froze right where I was. My brain totally empty. You got your memory back. My voice was shaking so bad I could barely speak. When? Guess. She smirked. Tell me. I snapped. Panicking. She held up 3 fingers and waved them in front of my face. 3rd date. She looked so proud of herself. The amusement park. It felt like I'd been struck by lightning. 3 months. 3 whole months. I thought I'd been keeping a secret from her for 3 months. 2 RNS out she'd been keeping one from me. That day at the park. She recalled slowly. After the roller coaster. When I was leaning on your shoulder all of a sudden. All these memories just flooded back. Our first date. You camping out below my apartment for 2 weeks. Faking run-ins. The day we went to get our marriage license. You were so nervous you misspelled your own name. Our wedding day. You got drunk and cried while you held me. Said you finally got to marry the girl of your dreams. With every word she said. My face got paler. All of it came back. She shrugged. Every last memory. Then why didn't you tell me? I was shocked. And a little angry. Do you have any idea what these past 3 months have been like for me? Oh. I know. She cut me off. Her eyes twinkling. I knew exactly what you were doing. You thought I forgot everything. Forgot you. And fell for you all over again. So you wanted me to chase you for once. Right. Me. She saw right through me. The pickled chips at the convenience store. She ticked them off on her fingers. The non-spicy salmon at the Mexican place. You dodging that kiss at the movies. Ethan Carter. You and your little schemes. Me. Then why did you play along? I couldn't wrap my head around it. She smiled. That smile half mischief. Half softness. Because it was fun. She said. You wanted me to chase you. So I did. Besides. She paused. Her cheeks flushing a little. I was chasing my own husband. It's not like I was losing anything. Me. And also. She leaned in even closer. Her breath warm on my face. I told Zoe not to tell you. To keep playing along with you. You have no idea how funny it was. Watching you scheme and lie to me. Thinking you were so clever. I was dying laughing. My face burned hot all over. So for 3 whole months. I'd thought I was the director of this little show, but really. I was just an actor who'd had his whole script read from day one. She'd been the one pulling all the strings this whole time. Zoe knew this whole time. It hit me all at once. Yep. Scarlett nodded. I told her the day after I got my memory back. Told her to keep it from both sides. She laughed so hard. Said we were the weirdest couple ever lying to each other and having the time of our lives doing it. Me. I had nothing to say. So you just pretended this whole time. Mum. She nodded. I had Zoe help me keep the act going. I wanted to see you play along. Wanted to watch you pretend you didn't know anything. When you thought you were the one with all the secrets. I took a deep breath. Scarlet May. Yeah. You're something else. She smiled and reached for my hand. Lacing our fingers together. I'm sorry. She said it all soft and sweet. But I think this was kind of nice. We got to have a whole new first experience together. I looked at her. She looked right back at me. Then I smiled. It was nice. I said. But it's even better that you have all the old memories back. If only I remembered all those days we had before, that would have made me sad. She squeezed my hand tight. Never again. She said. I remember everything. All the times you chased me. Our wedding day. Every night we fought and made up. Every time you told me you loved me. She paused. Her voice getting softer. Ethan Carter. She looked right at me. Her eyes bright and steady. From now on, I'll be the one waiting for you. No matter how far you go. No matter if you need time or space. I'll be right here. Waiting for you to turn around. Waiting for you to come home. Waiting for you to say you love me. I squeezed her hand back. You won't have to wait. I said. Because I'll always be right beside you. I'll never make you wait. Never make you search. Never leave you alone. She smiled. And tears slid down her cheeks. Then let's. She said. Start over. Okay. I said. From today on. You're Scarlet May. And I'm Ethan Carter. We'll fall in love all over again. We'll start fresh. And walk every step of the way together. She leaned in and hugged me tight. And she whispered in my ear, I love you so much. Husband. I love you too. Outside the window. The sunset was perfect.